Number 7, Spider-Man 3. I can kind of sympathize with the people who hated this movie because I know that a lot of people were like, when they saw the trailer, they expected a really serious movie about like light and darkness and stuff like that, the battles of good versus evil. I kind of think that movie accomplished that, sort of, but it did get in what it was trying to give out, the message that it was trying to give. So I think that it was a pretty good movie, and I can understand why people hated it, but I liked it. A particular element of the movie that I liked was how Spider-Man, no, Peter Parker finds out that his uncle's killer, he killed the wrong guy, and he, like how he killed the wrong guy, and the guy who really killed his uncle is still alive, and and he's become the Sandman. It it kind of brings Peter's dark feelings back out into the open. It brings his dark feelings of revenge back into the open, and it leaves him with the choice of whether to finish what dark deeds he started, or to get past his feelings of revenge and stuff. And the Sandman himself was a great, phenomenal character, and you feel what he's going through. You understand that he didn't choose to become who he is, and he's pretty much just a product of his environment. He's not a bad guy, as he puts it. He's just had bad luck. And but another thing that was really good about this movie was I like how when Peter discovered the black Spider-Man suit, how when Venom got onto him, he started to use it, and it started to corrupt him and stuff. He kind of hurt, and he at one point he hit Mary Jane when he was in a club, and that was kind of like when he realized that what was going on inside him was not good, and that was a pretty well done scene. But seriously, did they have to make him dance beforehand? That was a pretty stupid scene. But um, so there, and another element I like too was how Harry briefly lost his memory when he was trying to exact his vendetta against Peter Parker, who supposedly killed his dad, who was the Green Goblin. He becomes the new Goblin, and he tries to kill Peter, but and during the fight, he gets his head smashed on something, and it causes amnesia. He briefly forgets about the whole thing, and that was a very brilliant part because it got back to the story where they were just friends. Nothing was between them, and it kind of asked the question of what would have happened if there was no revenge between them, and they'd just be able to resume with their old friendship and stuff. But eventually he gets his memory back, and he starts to fight back, and this kind of leads to a moral quandary for both Peter and Harry. Harry does something to Peter that really starts spiraling him down the dark path, and they both kind of have to choose whether they want to be the better part of themselves, or if they want to continue on with malice in their hearts and stuff like that. But my favorite scene has got to be the scene where Sandman, when Flint Marko becomes the Sandman, because that should have kind of won a mini Oscar of its own. Not a word was said, but you can feel the emotion that he's going through as he's trying to press on, and he seems to be kind of dying at first, but then he sees a picture of his sick daughter who he's been stealing money for to cure, and then he sort of starts to press on again, and that was a great moment. And but yes, I agree with people in that this movie did have some flaws, and now I'm going to point them out. One point with the scene where Peter finds out the truth behind his uncle's death, and like they kind of have to, and he finally gets the opportunity to kill the Sandman, like near the end. But then Sandman tells him about the whole story behind it. That was a very well done scene. Like they both realize that they've done terrible things, and Peter kind of sympathizes with him, and ultimately he finds it in his heart to forgive the Sandman, and the Sandman then floats away. It's like that was this is kind of nitpicking, but where was he going? Was he going to rob another bank or something? It's like, okay, I forgive you. I'll like kick your ass later or something like that. What the hell? I mean, yeah, something like that. But that was it wasn't the biggest flaw for me. There were also a lot of kind of idiotic moments, like Venom. I didn't read much of the Spider-Man comics, but Venom was always my favorite villain. I watched a lot of the show back when I was a little kid, and Venom was always my favorite because he was the dark version of Spider-Man. Who couldn't love that? And I personally thought that astronaut from the second movie who was about to marry Mary Jane would have been a great Venom, because he would have had a good reason to go after Peter. I mean, he took his girl. Like, it would have been... Imagine, he went into space, found that the Venom symbiote, it got onto him and corrupted him. Imagine how that would have been. And, but instead you get Eddie Brock, that dick from the 70s show. And, he didn't get much of a reason to go after Peter in the first place. Like, just because he stole his girl and got him fired from the magazine, and like, he, at one point before he becomes Venom, he goes into a church where Peter's also trying to get the suit off, and he literally asks God if he can kill Peter Parker for him. And then when the suit gets off, Eddie sees Peter behind the mask, and he realizes that Peter is Spider-Man, and then the suit gets on him, turns him evil. You know the drill. And I did think it was a pretty good idea that he, in the end, he couldn't resist the suit, and even when it was off him, he tried to get back into it. But there was also little to no Venom. He appeared near the end, and he got nuked. He was killed by one of Harry's bombs at the end of the film. But overall, wait, I forgot one more. As I said before, the dance scene was stupid, and I did also like the tension of the romance between Harry and Peter. I mean, no, not what the fuck. Mary and Peter, and Mary Jane and Peter, because Mary Jane sort of started to become more of a three-dimensional character, not just the girl that Peter has to save all the time. But overall, I think it was a really good movie. Some very well done moments, and it did have its share of bad moments too. But I think that the good moments trumped the bad moments, and overall, it makes for good. And the good moments were pretty damn great, actually, and it made for a really good movie, in my opinion. So you all hated it, and I understand that, but I liked it. So yeah.